Hi, everyone. This is Clint
and Galen
from GCES. Join us this Monday morning at 8:10 a.m. on Indiana in the Morning.
We're going to discuss everything you need to know to get to retirement and beyond.
It doesn't matter what stage of life you're in, we can answer all of your questions and help you get your finances in check.
You can call in this coming Monday at 724-349-WCCS to ask GCES a question.
You can also email Indiana in the Morning anytime during the week with the question, and that email address is mornings@WCCSradio.com.
Thank you, everyone who's been listening so far. We look forward to answering your questions.
So don't forget to email or call in this Monday morning at 8:10 a.m. on Indiana in the Morning.
Talk to you then.
GCES. Advisory services offered by Encompass More Asset Management, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. Registration with the SEC does not imply a certain level of skill or training.
35% of crash deaths in Pennsylvania involve drivers under the influence. Drunk, high, buzzed, wasted. Whatever you are, don't become a statistic. Make a plan to get home safe. Designate a driver, ride share, or stay the night. Be safe, PA. Visit pendot.pa.gov/safety for more. Substance use disorder treatment is available. Call 1-800-662-HELP or find a treatment facility at treatmentatlas.org. Paid for with Pennsylvania taxpayer dollars.
9:14 in the morning. It is Indiana in the Morning, and it's WCCS 101.1 FM, AM 1160, and WCCSradio.com. And Jack Benedict is back with us this morning. Our conversation brought to you by Marcus & Mack, voted best personal injury law firm in the Best of Indiana County contest. Marcus & Mack, a law firm representing injured people. We were talking with Jack in our last half hour about the game tonight at Rickwood Field in Birmingham, Alabama, at which the Cardinals and the Giants will play, and they'll be wearing the uniforms of the San Francisco Sea Lions and the St. Louis Stars, those old teams from the Negro Leagues.
So many.
Yeah, the Pittsburgh Crawfords, you've got the cap there from the Pittsburgh Crawfords, the Homestead Grays. Pittsburgh was a big part of the Negro Leagues.
It really was. Gus Greenlee was the one who put that all together, and it was a hub, no question about it. Josh and some of those players played for both teams at one time or another. Yeah. It's like they had free agency before.
Sure,
you could play in the Negro leagues, and if you didn't like it there, you could go to the Mexican League and play.
Yeah,
that sort of thing. I don't know if all that was well and good, but yeah, the Pittsburgh was a really big hub.
And the Pittsburgh Courier Express was such a big part of it.
It absolutely was, yeah, no question. And, I'm fortunate. I got to see Jackie Robinson play in Forbes Field when I was 10 years old. Mm-hmm. And it was, I didn't know how historic it was at that time. But
how many times did you see Jackie Robinson, either as a player or in I almost said in real life.
Well, just the one time there, as far as that. And I saw some, I saw some film, and the World Series were played in the daytime, mm-hmm. and we would get out early on 2 days a week to go to a religious school. We Catholics at the time, see. So on the way from Ramsey High School to where I was going, my house was in between. So I stopped off, and I got to see, I don't know if it was Jackie Robinson's last hit, mm-hmm. but it was the 56 World Series, and he had a line drive over Enos Slaughter's head in left field.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just like, I got to go to religious school, and I want to watch what's going on here. But I held true to my faith that day, I guess.
After that, of course, the Dodgers left Brooklyn and headed to Los Angeles, and Jackie had to make a decision.
He had to make a decision. He was traded to the Giants for $30,000, and a guy named Dick Littlefield. But he had contemplated this. From what I read, he was 38 years old, mm-hmm. and he was past his prime. As I said, he was 28 when he got to the major leagues.
Sure.
So he went into business then. He was far beyond a ball player, and he was not the best player in the league, in the Negro leagues.
No,
he was not the best player, and he only played there for the Kansas City Monarchs, for part of the 1 year, 1946.
In that day and age, athletics was one of the few avenues that were open for black athletes in that era. That if you were able to do something on the athletic field, you had to step up, and you had an opportunity that others didn't get, unfortunately. But multi-sport stars were able to make it into the major leagues, and that included Jackie Robinson, whose best sport was not baseball, and Willie Mays, whose best sport was not baseball either.
Yeah, and what I look at, we think of the Giants. I don't mean the team, the Giants of baseball, like Mays and Aaron and these people, as being. Look at Aaron Judge. I mean, he's a mammoth guy. These guys were not. Willie Mays is 1 inch taller than Mookie Betts, who was 5'9". And you think about that, it's like these guys were so athletic, but that was their world, and they applied themselves. I'm not saying that the players today don't, but everybody's bigger and larger, and we're going to be seeing people like Paul Skeens and so on. Wow, he just threw a pitch 120 miles an hour.
Yeah.
It keeps going up.
That's going to happen. Yeah. That's going to happen.
But the tradition of this league here, these leagues, the Negro leagues, was I think just so fascinating. And of course, the one ball player, I don't know if it was Hilton Smith or whoever it was, I saw a quote by him, and he said, "All we did is ride, and ride some more."
Yeah. Yeah, well, part of that riding was you were on a bus
all the time,
and especially if you were in the minor leagues, you were going down south, and for the black players to play down south was especially difficult. They didn't know when they pulled into a town if A, they would be welcomed into the town, B, if they would be able to play the game, C, where would they stay, and D, where would they eat.
Oh yes, and then there's that movie that was put out years ago called The Green Book.
Yeah.
And it shows that they had to look and see, well, we are permitted to eat at this particular place in this city. There were so many characters, and one guy that really enthralls me was a guy named Ted Radcliffe. And Ted Radcliffe was stabbed by Damon Runyon as double duty.
Yeah. Double duty Radcliffe.
Because he would pitch one game and he'd catch the other game all on the same day.
Yeah.
And he only lived to be 100.
But it's fascinating to consider those stories and to hear those stories again, which is what we will do through the course of not only this day, but as we go through the rest of this season, the celebration of the Negro Leagues. Yeah. You mentioned at PNC Park, for folks who don't know the display that they have of the statuary celebrating the Negro Leagues. It's entering, where is that? The left field gate?
The left field line,
The left field gate when you enter PNC Park. That's the way to go into that stadium.
Yeah, beyond the Stargell statue.
Yeah.
Willie Stargell statue, yeah.
That's where you see that display, and it really is, I mean, it's bone-chilling to walk through there.
Oh, it's great. And what I've seen in video of the museum in Kansas City, and I said I haven't been there yet, hope to get there, they have at each position on the mound is a statue of Satchel Paige. And at first base is, Dutch Leonard, Gibson behind the plate. And the comparable outfielder to Willie Mays was Oscar Charleston.
Yeah.
And he patrols center field out there. But the way that they have that aligned is just amazing.
Yeah, I read the book on Oscar Charleston, interviewed the author just a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
It was really, really a good book. But it pointed out the fact that, what MLB has done this year with the statistics, melting them into, if you will, the major league statistics, and sort of shuffling all of that lineup. Back then, we really don't know what the numbers truly were.
No, we don't,
because they were not kept and kept accurately. And you're right. A guy could play for one team. He could actually change his name and go play for another team on that night.
This was an interesting thing. Thinking of changing the name, and I relate to my dad. And he played in, I don't know if you called it semi-pro ball or sandlot ball or whatever it was, but during the 1930s, he was in his 20s at the time. And there was a team in Scottdale, which is like 5 miles beyond Mount Pleasant in Westmoreland County. Because teams played in Vandergrift, Jeanette, all these places, Greensburg and so on. And my dad said there was a guy that played for Scottdale. I said, boy, this guy was really good. His name was Mickey Wright. He said, geez, we wonder, where in the heck did they get him? Talk about ringers. Turned out it was Joe Medwick. Oh, okay. No wonder he was pretty good.
Yeah. The team from the Black Sox scandal, those guys had to change their names and play.
Yeah.
But whatever it took for you to keep playing ball, they were willing to do it.
There's one thing that really, I love Field of Dreams, and I think we all did, and all those great baseball movies. Costner's making the rounds now, with Horizon and so on, but he's talking a lot of baseball too. But there's one thing in there where they show where Joe Jackson, and they have it wrong. And why they can't get these things right is beyond me. They have him batting right-handed and throwing left-handed. It's the other way around.
Yeah.
He threw right-handed and batted left-handed. How can they let those things go?
I don't know. Well, that must have been the only way that Ray Liotta could do it.
Maybe so, or they just flip-flopped that, Who knows?
Jack, it's been fun. I'm glad
I love this,
talk a little baseball with us. You can come back and do that anytime, and you don't have to limit it to baseball, whatever it is.
Well,
you come back anytime.
You let me know I'm in the neighborhood.
That's Jack Benedict with us here this morning. It is the voice of Indiana County, WCCS. 101.1 FM, AM 1160, and WCCSradio.com. Boomer Sports next, brought to you by S&T Bank, People Forward Banking.
Hi, I'm Garrett Greek, your local mortgage banker at S&T Bank. The sunshine is back. Let us help you find the perfect home to enjoy the sights and sounds of summer. Visit me at one of our Indiana County offices to learn more about our mortgage options. You can also visit us at stbank.com or call us at 800-325-2265. S&T Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
This is Boomer Esiason with the Sports Minute. A week ago, the Chiefs distributed their Super Bowl 57 championship rings, and they are beautiful.